Welcome to my second vlog for St Mary's University. I will be covering skills versus capacity in speed and agility. The movements that I will cover will be acceleration, the lateral shuffle and change of direction. Most of the athletes have got skill and capacity issues, but I shall be analysing what I highlighted at the beginning of the slide. The setup appears to be very good foot placement, and she drives away well. When we look at it closer, she is a little bit soft through her midsection and appears to have a lack of triple extension through her back leg. As we look at the movement closer, we can see that she is kyphotic in posture, and during this slow motion you can see that the triple extension is underutilised, reducing her ground force contact. As we can see from this, she is massively underutilising that extension through the rear leg and slowing her propulsion down from the start. When told to think about the triple extension, you can see that she achieves the desired extension through the back leg. And with this falling drill, you can see that she also achieves the desired angle and the extension through the back leg. So this would highlight that is a skill breakdown. With some drilling of technique and told to extend through the floor, we can see a slight improvement in the shin angle and the triple extension of the back leg. To further encourage the triple extension, we got Felicity to start to perform some bounding movements and work on the vertical displacement and the ground force contact that she is producing. These bounding drills, coupled together with some strength and conditioning exercises to encourage the leg extension, we hope over time that the skill issue will be broken down and her sprint performance will increase drastically. In the counter movement jump, she achieves really good triple extension. With the addition of some basic running drills like the B step to encourage the cycle of the leg and the extension through the floor. Next video, Bex has a lot of skill breakdown, but we are using her for a capacity issue with acceleration. From this initial assessment, you can see that she is very soft through the core, she leans forward a lot, she lacks knee drive and points her toes down, so she's lacking dorsiflexion. When taken into the A step, you can see that lordosis and the exaggerated plantar flexion is present. The first drill she was taken into was a wall drive. She was cued to keep a strong core and to dorsiflex the foot at all times. In this video, we can see very clearly that she collapses through her core and she struggles to keep a dorsiflexed foot at all times. So she is going to be lacking drive off the floor and she's going to be losing power through that core. So it's very obvious to see that we need to do some tibularis strengthening, loosening out the calf and strengthening up the core through the spine. So we got her to perform some tibularis activation with a band to get those muscles firing up and working properly and hopefully generating some more power and endurance through the front of the shin. Moving into a dead bug exercise. So she was cued to hold a strong core extending through the shoulders and the legs. And progressing this into some sled pushes, holding that running position, holding the core tight, driving the knee, keeping the dorsiflexion through the foot, and just holding everything as tight as possible. After some activation exercises and some lower body mobility, we can see that this wall drill has improved drastically. She's holding a better torso position and those knees are driving with a dorsiflexed foot. We coupled these exercises together with some running drills with some very specific cues of flexing the foot and keeping a nice strong core. Single leg hurdles to help with the knee drive and keeping that tight core and flexed foot. We can see as she runs through this drill that lordosis is reduced and her knee drive is improving with the dorsiflexion through the foot. The single leg running over the hurdles created a really nice knee drive and proper placement of the foot through the extension. With these drills, we can see that there's an improvement in the cycling of the leg, the torso position is much better and the sprint is massively improved. Over time, we hope that these activation drills and these running drills coupled together will produce a good outcome. Next, we have Amber with an agility skill issue and more specifically coordination. We got Amber to perform a lateral shuffle. As we can see, the placement of the feet isn't great. She goes more into a squatting position, so we started to cue her to extend the outside leg, which started to throw up some other issues. As we could see, she started to really overextend the leg. She started reaching towards the floor, and then on some of the movements, she placed the legs the wrong way round. inside leg being straight. The inside leg is outside of her base of support and her external leg is very extended. This 505 test, she demonstrates fairly good running mechanics, although the turn is quite slow. Being a long distance runner, we would expect this sort of turn from her, with the main issue being she's not getting her hips round fast enough for that turn. And when we simplified the drill, we found that her foot placement was off and her hips weren't coming round fast enough. To make sure it wasn't a capacity issue, we did some leg strength testing. So in the Cossack squat, she performed it very well. In the pistol squat, although she seems to be a bit off balance, she achieves full depth and drives back out. She's got a slight tightness through the ankles, which we would expect with a runner. And when we look at a still image from the pistol squat, her knee alignment is fine. And in a lateral explosive step-up test, we can see that she achieves full triple extension through the leg with no issues at all, generating height off the box. So to start teaching in some coordination, we got her to do some lateral steps on a speed ladder. As we can see, this takes a lot of concentration and her arm drive starts to slacken off towards the end. We took her into some lateral bounding to get used to driving off that outside leg as powerfully as possible. With these lateral bounding drills, we can see that straight line with a lateral drive is not an issue for this athlete. It is the actual change of direction. So we got her to do some agility ladder where she places one foot into each square as she comes along, and on the last square she drives off at an angle away from the ladder. To start to build in the foundations of this technique, we got her to do some single leg over the box, trying to get the inside leg under the base of power and extending the outside leg straight, driving up and over the box. This coupled together with some core strengthening to get some control through that torso. Hopefully with these drills we should see a skill improvement of this athlete. In this next video we have Tom performing agility drills and a capacity issue. So we did multiple short distance turns up and down a studio. As we can see, his body position is good. He plants the outside foot, keeps the inside foot under his base of support, so he's got a good drive off and he accelerates fairly well into the movement. He uses a good arm drive and he is very efficient at changing direction, bringing his hips around very quickly into the direction of travel. From this angle, we can see that through his right leg, his knee appears to collapse, indicating a weak glute medius. As we can see from these images that his knee does collapse inwards during the change of direction. On the strength test, we can see during the pistol squat he has good depth and drives out the bottom, but he does lack control of his knees through the movement, with his knees caving in. As we can see highlighted from this green line, his left knee does collapse inwards quite significantly and his right knee does slightly, but nowhere near as bad as his left. We got him to perform some lower body mobility drills to loosen up any tightnesses that he may have, and some hamstring slides where we can see that his glutes do drop as he starts to slide the discs back in towards him. Using this sliding drill with the cue to keep the core tight and the hips level at all times should help him to strengthen up the glutes. Couple this together with some lower body strengthening exercises like these walking calf raises, these explosive lunges extending through the legs fully, and the counter movement jump, working on the triple extension through the ankle, the knee and the hip. We also got him to perform some bounding, some full Olympic snatches and some A steps to work on running mechanics. With these strengthening exercises, we also gave him some agility ladder drills, working on keeping that knee from collapsing inwards whilst tapping into the ladder. These drills should help to reinforce the correct body positions, and lateral in and out through the ladder should help him to shift his weight. We can see with this single change of direction drill, he has good placement of his feet, powers out of it correctly, and his knee does not collapse inwards. When we get him into some multi-directional drills, when we take him back into some multi-directional drills, he has shown a vast improvement with that outside leg. So hopefully with some glute medius specific strengthening exercises coupled together with the agility and learning the movements properly, we should see a great improvement. As we can see, after a short intervention period and some pre-activation drills with some of the strengthening exercises, that his outside leg no longer collapses in. This is a good indicator that the glute medius is the weakness, indicating that it's a capacity issue, not skill.